restarting the race, so everybody's going back to the beginning there.
You're kidding?
No.
Okay, so we're heading to the AMRA San Manuel Copper Classic, I think it's called, race. San Manuel is an old mining town kind of near Tucson. It's about 50 miles from where I live, and basically, like, it's an off-road desert race. I don't really know a whole lot about it, honestly. It's the first time for me doing one of these types of events. So we're gonna go give it a try, see what happens. I wanted to bring the new 300 originally, but there's lots of rules for this event. Like, it's not a very casual event, as I'm finding out. So I ended up having to bring the carbureted bike because I could put a forest-approved silencer on it. So, and there's some other things I'm gonna go in there a little bit earlier to find out. But anyways, we're heading there now. I don't really have any expectations for the race. I'm in the C class, which is like the slowest of the adults, and my goal is just to finish. You know, I just want to go do this. It's something new for me, new experience, and yeah, bring you guys along for the ride.
So unfortunately, I didn't really arrive on site early enough to get as much kind of like B-roll of the venue as I wanted to. So I got some pretty limited footage here and just like a couple photos to roll in for you guys of kind of the staging area. But you can see where we were set up, all the bikes, all the RVs. People are taking this serious, a lot more than I had suspected. There was, I think, 84 total riders on the line. Which was more than I expected, and you can kind of see that here too. I was in the second row, 250C, and everybody behind us here, and a good amount of spectators as well. And as I alluded to in the intro there, this is footage of the first lap, let's say, but unfortunately this lap ends up not counting because allegedly there was a group of people that cut the track, and so we had to, and it's a 2-lap race. Now keeping in mind each lap is about 40 minutes or so, we had to restart the entire race. So, you know, doing this video creates a little bit of a dilemma for me because I had full GoPro from this lap, and then at that point, because we didn't really have the downtime before the race restarted, I've got about half of the second lap, or the second and third lap. So I'm going to kind of just try to splice this together the best that I can to be enjoyable to watch. It might not be the most coherent thing or the most timely, so I'm actually not going to show the start to the first race. We'll go to the second one, but yeah, I needed to clarify that for you guys out of the gate. If some of this is kind of disjointed and doesn't make sense, that's why. There's a legitimate reason. Unfortunately, some people got upset by that. There was a couple people, as you're going to see when I cut here to the second line, people leave. Like, there was a guy actually directly in front of me here, like basically rage quit and stormed off and left. So it was really unfortunate turn of events, but I still had a blast, as you're going to see coming up. So I get a decent start here. I get a better start than I did on the first lap. First lap I was like dead last, so that was better. This dude gets super squirrely in front of me, almost goes down. Thought for sure he was gonna crash. Luckily he just like stalls his bike, and this is kind of where I start, you know, right from the beginning, marching forward. You know, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and I knew if I just kept wearing these guys down that we'd get them. So I ended up getting stuck behind this guy a lot longer than I probably should have, to be honest. I was definitely faster than him, especially like when I seen the whoops here, just kind of like looking at his technique, and he's on a YZ250 probably in second gear. Kind of looks like his bike's deflecting all over the place. I'm pretty much this whole track. I'm lugging my 250SX in third gear, except for there. I mean, there's a lot of really tight corners here, and even then, I'm trying to just clutch them out in third gear, but occasionally shifting down. But yeah, there's just not a lot of places to pass on this single track. You know, I mean, it's very limited, and when you don't know the track, it can be difficult. So you do end up getting stuck behind guys, and in hindsight, I probably should have been revving my bike up behind these guys a little bit more. And like here that guy lets us go. That happened a fair amount, and I don't know if that was people getting fatigued or what the deal is, but in reviewing footage, definitely could have been more aggressive in some of these situations. I was having a really good go in the sand sections all day long, I felt like, and kind of you see this guy swapping all over the place. There was a lot of that going on when I was behind people in the sand, so I was trying not to hesitate and just get around him when I could. So after making that pass, I'm pretty positive that I'm now in second place in the race, which was pretty good considering where I started at, and I do end up getting passed by one guy in a little bit here who was absolutely ripping. There was two guys on KTMs that ended up finishing first and second in our group that were killing it all day long. And I had him chasing me for quite a while. I was doing everything I could to hold on, but couldn't do it. And eventually ended up getting past, and that's kind of the extent of the footage that I have from this lap, unfortunately. Battery ended up dying in the GoPro because, I had started recording on the first lap, or what should have been the first lap, which they did, reset. So that's what we have here. So I'm gonna let the this is actually closing footage from the first lap that I'm gonna let play out for a little bit here. Just show you guys a little bit more of the terrain that was out there, and as I said, didn't have battery from the second lap, and just share some other kind of closing thoughts here. You know, I really enjoyed this so much. I had way more fun than I expected to doing this, honestly. I figured I would go do the race and it would just be a day of riding and it would be whatever, but really, I mean, it is such an adrenaline rush. The competitive side of it that I really didn't expect to get much from. You know, I mean, I am a competitive person, but I've never really had motocross be a competitive outlet for me. But once I got going, man, and once I felt like I realized some of my own potential. I wanted to beat guys, and you know, when I learned the track, you know, kind of having the race get restarted was a blessing in disguise for me, because then I knew the lines and I knew how long the track was, and I felt like I was just gonna get better and better. I wanted to beat guys and ended up going third on the day overall in my group, which I'm really proud of. 18th out of 84 people total. Really proud of that. So I feel like all the training that I do at home on the bike and off the bike, all the single track stuff that I do has paid off, and paying attention to the bike setup and paying attention to technique. And you know, when I got fatigued, I just kept reminding myself of the fundamentals of my technique and riding on the balls of my feet and all that kind of stuff, and just kept going through it, and not sitting down too much, and just kept trying to stick to that, and it really panned out for me. I really believe that I, you know, have a lot more stamina than I thought I did. So, and then beyond that, I was able to do this on a motocross bike. You know, I think a lot of people, there is a definite perception, whether people want to admit it or not, that, you know, if you're on a motocross bike, that you really can't do this kind of stuff, and you know, you really need an off-road bike, and it's got to be valved this way, and you're at a disadvantage, this and that. It's really not true. It's all in the way that it's set up. It's on how you ride. It's on how you train. It's on everything around it. I mean, I think you can make anything work in an off-road scenario like this. So I was just happy to kind of validate that. That's been my feeling this whole time, is that there's no reason that a motocross bike can't compete in this kind of events. That being said, I do feel like I had two major disadvantages. One of them was that I didn't have a kickstand, which was more of an annoyance from a perspective of like getting registered and whatnot. But the big one was the electric start. Having to do a cold start, you know, having an electric start would have been a definite advantage. So maybe next time. And I do hope to do more of these next time. So stay tuned. Probably going to be doing more of these events in the future. Thank you to Tornado Media and everybody that kind of helped get me out there and get me involved in this. And I hope you guys appreciated the video, and hope to bring you more of these in the near future. Until then, please like and follow on YouTube if you're able to, and we'll see you in the next video.
That's a hell of a track. That's so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, see, you get more seat time.